big shake-up that now we're going to be seeing. Former Indian skipper and legendary cricketer, the Wall, as he's very fondly remembered as, Rahul Dravid, has agreed on special request here to take over as Team India's head coach. Rahul Dravid will replace Ravi Shastri after the T20 World Cup gets over, as the latter's contract ends at that time. In fact, it's also important here to note here, the BCCI, that have been trying very hard to get Rahul Dravid on board for a long time, but he was reluctant for certain reasons. Rahul Dravid, who's currently the head of the academy, the National Cricket Academy, and he's credited for India's solid bench strength. Let's in fact go across to my colleague Ranadeep, who's getting us further details here on what Rahul Dravid is expected to add to the table once he takes over as coach for Team India, and what really has worked in his favour here for this position.
Well, yes, sir. There have been debates and discussions ever since Rahul Dravid has accompanied the national Indian seniors team to Sri Lanka as the head coach. There have been debate about whether Rahul Dravid will be the right choice to be the next coach of Team India after Ravi Shastri's contract expires. Now, since we have the confirmation of the fact, let me take you through why Rahul Dravid could be the perfect choice for Team India. With over 10,000 runs in both one-days as well as Test cricket, Rahul Dravid is undoubtedly one of the greatest cricketers of all time. And that is the reason why his experience could bring a lot of changes in the Indian cricket team. He has, as we all know, worked extensively as the head coach of the India A as well as the Under-19 India team. The Under-19 India team especially has gone on to win accolades under his coaching, and that we all know how he has been instrumental in building careers out of budding cricketers. He has groomed budding cricketers at the National Cricket Academy. The National Cricket Academy, which he heads right now, is known to be the budding ground for all young cricketers, and that his valuation in the National Cricket Academy, the kind of experience he brings there, is of great help, and that's another reason why Rahul Dravid could be instrumental in this team as well. He has mentored several of the current young national players, especially the likes of Prithvi Shaw and Washington Sundar and the other players, those who are consistently performing for Team India in Test cricket as well as One-Day and T20s. Now, Rahul Dravid has got a huge experience, and his unmatchable experience will do a world of good for Team India, because he has been known as a man who have been always standing up for Team India during crisis ever since the late 90s as well as the early 2000s. Now, going on from that, he holds a lot of command and respect from Team India at a national as well as junior level, because he's always been one of the guys who have been involved in very little controversy, and hence he commands a lot of respect from the entire cricketing fraternity. And the fact that he is the ultimate example of being a good team player also brings into the table a lot of experience. And this is also going to be one of the things why this team would require somebody like a Rahul Dravid at the helm, because he has not only in times helped India in standing up as a wicketkeeper, as a backup wicketkeeper, as a standby wicketkeeper, and also has opened the innings alongside the openers in India when there were injury concerns for the openers in Test cricket as well. So all of these things put together will make Rahul Dravid one of the most important and a very key aspect in the coaching department as far as Team India in the national level is concerned, and that right now is going to be one of the reasons why India could go on to flourish in the coming days. Said.
Ranadeep, many thanks for listing out all the benefits here to this. Totally, it seems that there's only everything positive about this decision, and much for Team India to look forward to from the new team, the coach here as well. As far as Rahul Dravid's, of course, very important contribution to the National Cricket Academy is concerned. Those results, of course, are already showing on ground as far as building the next generation of cricketers here is concerned. Let's get connected with expert, former cricketer Alan Sippy with us this evening. Many thanks for being with us, Alan Sippy. Is this the best news that one would have heard as far as being the next name for the new coach for Team India, someone who comes in with an unmatched reputation, an incredible reputation as far as grooming the new generation is concerned as well.
Absolutely. It's fantastic news for India because this guy, Rahul Dravid, has seen it all. He's done it all as a cricketer. This time, it's going to be him as India coach. It is brilliant news for Indian cricket because this debate, this kind of talk was going on for a while about Rahul Dravid taking over as India coach. I'm glad that he's taken it over. Reason being because he could now take this young generation to a different level. They've done exceedingly well so far, but now Rahul Dravid can take it even further. So it's brilliant news and great news for Indian cricket.
Right. Alan, as you know, we've of course been looking at this, getting in expert voices such as you who are largely looking at this decision having all positives. They're of course the best possible decision that could be taken for Team India right now, to have a new coach in the credentials that have been listed out, such as for someone who's been a great example, Rahul Dravid, for Team India in the past year as well. There was also a certain amount of hesitancy before he finally took on this role here. Do you think that has entirely now been dealt with? We have him on board, and Team India and the coming new generation within Team India now can much look forward to his leadership.
Yes, absolutely true. Because see, there's a lot of sacrifices you have to do as an Indian coach or Indian cricketer. Especially in today's times with COVID and all these things that is happening around the world, you have to sacrifice. You have to make sacrifices because you stay away from your family. It's not an easy job to do. But Rahul Dravid has done a lot of hard work. He's done the hard yards, coaching the under-19 team and doing his best for Indian cricket at the lower stage, at the India under-19 stage. Now he's taken over the India main team, which is very important for Indian cricket because he is the right choice. I tell you why, because many times in the past, Indians always look for foreigners as a coach. This time they've gone with Rahul Dravid. It's an excellent choice because he's taken over from Ravi Shastri. Ravi Shastri has done a very good job so far for the last 5 years. But now it's a chance for Rahul Dravid to take it to the next level, and that is the level of winning the World Cup, winning other things, in doing a lot of good things for Indian cricket. So this is the right choice with the youngsters because he's been grooming the youngsters for quite a while. So I'm really
Absolutely.
pleased with this decision that Indian has taken.
Sports commentator Charu Sharma also connected with her here this evening. Charu, many thanks for being with us. In your view, was this the best possible way to build a connection with the team, particularly as far as the next generation, which would be part of the national team here as well? Someone who's already been groomed under him at the National Cricket Academy, and there is going to be a seamlessness now here to this in deciding for Rahul Dravid to be the next coach for Team India.
Well, I agree with everything you've said, and it's a natural progression without doubt there. Unfortunately, the Indian under-19 team is a much more important but softer assignment. Now, when you become the national coach, it's a crown of thorns. So I'm surprised, well, I don't know, pleasantly or otherwise, coach, because it comes with a lot of baggage, a lot of comparison. And if the team wins, of course, you get a lot of accolades. But if the team doesn't, then there's a lot of pressure on the coach for, to my mind, no good reason. Now, Rahul, of course, will need to be ready for that pressure. You might remember his teammate and statemate some time back who was not ready for that pressure. Do you know the name? If not, I'll remind you. Anil Kumble, who was, just as good a coach, just as committed. But he, I don't think, took the crown of thorns too well. If Rahul can handle that, good for him. Because he needs to, I think he studied it well enough. There was talk about his actually rejecting it in the past. And then finally, maybe there was a lot of persuasion because he knows more than anyone else that it is a crown of thorns. And if he feels up to it, yes, it's a nice natural progression. You mentioned that a lot of people trained under him will now be a part of the Indian team. Not necessarily. People come from all sorts of places. And the Indian team tends to have its own pushes and pulls. And he is, of course, a very mature, sensible man. And in that sense, he should be able to handle it.
Charu, interesting point that you've raised here, whether or not Rahul Dravid can handle that kind of handle that kind of pressure for someone who is very popularly called the wall in his prime? Any certain reason where you would like to raise a doubt on whether or not he would handle pressure?
No. Well, perhaps I should rephrase it. He may, but it will not be as pleasant an assignment as the under-19 coach, because there are many pushes and pulls. You're in the limelight all the time. There's a massive floodlight on you. Every single move you make, every single step, every single relationship. And you know how it is. I mean, the world loves negative news. They love controversy. And I just hope that he can handle it well and shake it off like water off a duck's back. Because the last thing we want is Rahul Dravid to get upset with all the so-called, conjecture and rumor and controversy, which almost always surrounds the national team as well as the coach. So it's up. Well, you can't stop that. You can't tell people, do not comment on the national coach. They will. So it's up to him to kind of, treat that lightly and carry on with the job. Because you, as a coach, let's put it simply, you cannot guarantee the result of the match. The players are out there playing. The coach. So it can sometimes be very frustrating.